Hey, this is Jordan here at Totally Bored, and in this video, I'll be giving you 4 recommendations for new board game players. So before I get started today, I do just want to note that 4 months ago, I was a brand new board gamer myself. I had time to play each of these games several times and even introduce them at my board game nights to new players, and they've all been huge hits. So I do think you'll like these, and without further ado, let's get straight to the list. First up, we have Horrified. Now, Horrified is a cooperative game for 1 to 5 players, takes around 1 to 2 hours to complete, and retails for $40, but you can usually find it for under $30. In Horrified, each player takes on the role of a unique hero and works together in order to defeat these famous monsters like Dracula and Frankenstein. Now, the catch is each of these monsters is unique and they have their own set of challenges and puzzles that you must complete in order to defeat them. Now, at the same time, you have citizens that spawn up around the map and they're trying to get to their safe zone. Now, it's the players or heroes' responsibilities to guide these citizens to the safe zones. So you have to juggle quite a few things going on. You have these challenges you're trying to complete, you have the citizens that you're trying to save, and you need to run from the monsters. So it sounds like it's a lot, but that is the beauty of this game. It does such a great job at meshing these things together. It never feels impossible, but it does feel challenging. And the cool thing about Horrified is it is cooperative. I know versus games can often be a little intimidating for new players, but with this, you guys are through the storm together, and it makes it that much fun at the end of the game when you're finally victorious and you defeat these crazy monsters. Quick note here, I did forget to address this, but my copy of Horrified is the American Monsters version of the game, which includes different monsters which are slightly more difficult than the original Horrified. So Horrified is for you if you're looking for something that has a lot of player interaction and replayability, if you're looking for a fun thematic experience, or you're a fan of the horror genre. All right, next up on the list, we have The Crew Mission Deep Sea. Now, The Crew is also does offer a 2-player variant. It takes around 10 to 20 minutes depending on the mission, and it retails for $15. In The Crew, players journey together to find the lost continent of Mu. This is a trick-taking game where players must complete specific challenges for each mission and must work together with limited communication in order to achieve victory. Now, this is a really cool game because it is a trick-taking game like Spades or Hearts, but instead of it being versus, it is cooperative. So you have to work together using these little sonar tokens, and besides that, you're not able to discuss your hand, so it makes the interaction and the communication a really fun aspect of this game. I also think once you get through the teaching phase, it's really easy to understand and learn what to do, and the fun part of that is strategizing how you're going to win each mission. The Crew comes with 32 missions, with the difficulty ramping up over the course of those, so it does offer a lot of challenge. And it's not going to be something that you're going to play all in one go, at least I highly doubt it, but it is something that you can bust out for like a half an hour and play a few missions and then maybe move on to another board game, or if you guys love it, just keep playing through it. You can't go wrong with The Crew. It is a crazy amount of value for what you have. The Crew is for you if you're looking for something that is easy to get to the table. So, with board games, you do have the setup and teardown of the board game, whereas The Crew, it just takes a few minutes to get set up and you're good to go. Also, if you're looking for a mission or campaign system to go through with your friends, this is a great choice. And lastly, it offers a great amount of content for the money, and you can't go wrong. Number 3, we have Raccoon Tycoon. Now, Raccoon Tycoon is a versus game for 2 to 5 players. Usually takes about 1 to 2 hours depending on the game, and this retails for $40, but you can typically find it for under $30. Become the wealthiest tycoon in the land of Astoria in this auction-style game. Players can produce or sell commodities, purchase buildings or towns, or hold auctions for new railroads. This game has also been a complete success for all of the game nights that I've hosted that had new players. It kind of reminds me of Monopoly in the fact that it has money. That's about the main similarity it has. But this game does such a good job at making the rules easy to understand. The gameplay is super fast. You know, you have this little commodities track, and every time you sell a commodity, the price drops, so you can kind of strategize how to screw over your friend's play or the next person's move. You know, you have these buildings that add to your production and do a lot of cool things. And then lastly, you can hold these auctions, which is really fun. You go around the table, each person bids, and the highest person wins. It just does a fantastic job at laying out an auction style game for new players. You know, there's a ton of replayability. It's easy to learn, but it actually offers a lot of depth within the gameplay. And yeah, this is one of my favorite games to play, especially with new players. And even some of the people that I've been playing with for the last several months, we still bust this out and have a phenomenal time. Raccoon Tycoon is for you if you want something with fast-paced gameplay, you want something that offers a lot of replayability, or you're interested in auction or economic style games similar to Monopoly but not Monopoly. And last up on the list, we have the most controversial pick. This is Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion. Now, Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion, this is a cooperative game for 1 to 4 players. Usually takes about 30 minutes up to 2 hours depending on the scenario. And this costs $50, but you can usually find this on sale. I think I got my copy for $40. Become a member of the Jaws of the Lion, a mercenary group tasked with investigating disappearances in the decrepit city of Gloomhaven. This is an adventure campaign game where players choose from 4 unique mercenaries, all with their own special abilities and powers, to explore and battle through 25 scenarios. Now, I do have to make a quick note about this game. So this is by far the most difficult game on this list, but the reason I put it on my list is because it was literally my first board game back in September of 2022. And the reason it's so approachable and so good for new players is how they teach the game in the tutorial. So there are 25 total scenarios, and the first 5 of them are the tutorials. So in scenario 1, they're going to introduce rules that are really basic. They're going to show you how to use the player cards, how to use the game board, and give you some basic definitions on keywords. And then over the course of the next 4 scenarios, they're going to introduce more mechanics, more keywords, and it just never feels overwhelming. It does a really good job of just making it really approachable, easy to understand. And by the end of the 5th scenario, you're ready to rock and roll. You know, I played this game with another friend of mine who never played a modern board game. And within an hour, we were slaying it. We had our decks made, we were fighting monsters, and we were good to go. So yes, it is a difficult game, but I absolutely think it is approachable, but you just have to know your audience. This isn't something that I'm going to try to play with my mom and dad in their late 60s. This is going to be something I try with other nerds, maybe other video gamers who've never tried a board game, or people who are really into the fantasy genre. Gloomhaven is for you if you are interested in the fantasy theme in board games. Maybe you're a huge video gamer, you like action RPGs, dungeon crawlers like Diablo, etc. Or if you want a ton of content for the money. So before I end this video, I do have to give some honorable mentions, and these are going to both Catan and Ticket to Ride. Now, if you've watched other recommendation videos, I can almost guarantee that both of these games will be on those lists, and that's for a reason. Both games are amazing games. They showcase what board games can really be, especially to people who are not familiar with them. They offer a lot of strategy, but are simple enough to be able to teach all ages, and they're excellent choices. So if you don't know much about them, I'll put a link in the description so you can check those out. That wraps up my 4 recommendations for new board gamers. If you thought this list was an absolute dumpster fire, please dislike it and roast me in the comments. But if you found something you enjoyed, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. This is Jordan here at Totally Bored. I'll see you next time. Hey everyone, Jordan here at Really Bored, and in this video, my cat is going to be blocking the screen.